In the beginning, first man and first woman were in a world where everything was brand new. And they were looking around at everything, exploring what there was. First man looked in the bushes and he saw the animals running around. He saw the waters that ran down beside the bushes. First woman, though, she was looking up at the dark sky. And after a while, she said to him, "I need a way to tell the stories." And he said, "Why?" And she said, "Well, people will need to know the stories so they know where they come from. And when they know the stories, they'll know when things go wrong, how to get back." And first man says, "I've got an idea." And he picked up a stick. He says, "Look at this. The water is really easy. You can do this, put the stories in the water." And she says, "That won't work because the water just washes everything away." The first man said, "Well, I got an idea. See the stick? Come over to the side of the water. And over here in the sand, see, I can just write the stories right there. The water doesn't take them away." She says, "No, but soon," she kicked, "the wind will take them away." And he says, "Well, you've got yourself a problem." And he handed her the stick and he walked away. Well, first woman was looking around for an idea and she looked back up at that dark sky. The idea came to her. So she went out and she got a blanket. And on the blanket, she piled up a whole bunch of shiny mica stones. And she dragged that blanket over by the edge of the water. And she picked up one of those mica stones. And she looked up at just the right spot. And she reached up. And she placed that mica stone in the sky. The first star. She liked it. So she bent down and she picked up another mica stone. And she moved a little ways away. And she reached up. And she placed that one up in the sky. And bit by bit, the stars began to take shape until there was the first story. The story of the bear. She liked what she'd done, so she decided to do another one. And she bent down and she picked up a mica stone and she looked around until she found just the right spot. And as she was reaching up, she heard a voice behind her say, "What are you doing?" "Oh, it's you, Coyote." "Well, I'm putting these stars up in the sky so they'll tell the stories." "Why are you doing that?" "People will need to know where they come from. And when things go wrong, they'll need to know the way to get back. And those stories will do that for them. And if I put them up in the sky, they'll be able to see them every night." He says, "Can I help?" She says, "I don't think so, Coyote. You have a bad reputation." "I can do a good job." She says, "Well, I'll tell you what. You can try one." And Coyote took that mica stone and he looked and he found just the right spot. And up on his tiptoes, he placed that star. And she says, "That's good. That's good. All right, you can help." So the two of them went to work again and again and again, placing stars in the sky. And another story took shape, the story of the hunter. And another, the story of the snake. Bit by bit, everything was shaping up. But Coyote, you know, he's an impatient one. And he says, "Can't we go a little faster?" And she says, "No, we have to be careful about this, Coyote. We have to put everything in just the right place." He says, "But this could take all night." She goes, "It might. But when we're done, all of the stories will be up there." So she picked up a mica stone and she turned and found a spot. Then she went to put that one up in the sky. And as she turned her back, Coyote reached down and he picked up that blanket. And all those stars went whoosh up into the sky. Then she looked up and she said, "What have you done?" He said, "I finished." And he ran away. Well, first woman was looking at the mess that Coyote had made. When first man walked up again beside her, he says, "What happened?" She said, "Coyote." He says, "I see some of the stories. I see the story of the bear, and I see the story of the hunter. Is that the story of the snake?" She goes, "I know, but there are so many stories that aren't up there." First man said, "No. But people will look up and they'll see the ones that are there, and they'll figure out how to tell the other ones for themselves." And so it was that the two of them turned and walked away. And that is my story.